Welcome to the deep dive. We're starting today with something pretty chilling. Albert Einstein's famous line, "I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War II will be fought with sticks and stones."
Yeah, it's a powerful quote.
And in this deep dive, using your sources, we're going to unpack that. Look at how it plays out today, because there's this surprising paradox at the heart of modern conflict.
Right. And it's important to understand what Einstein meant. It wasn't really a prediction about, specific future tech. It was more a grim metaphor.
A metaphor for what, exactly?
For total civilizational collapse. The fear, right after World War II, was that atomic bombs could literally send humanity back to a primitive state. A profound warning, really.
Makes sense.
And just quick, while we're talking Einstein, that common idea about his theories predicting parallel universes, that's actually not correct. It's a misattribution often tacked onto him. Just wanted to clear that up.
Ah, interesting clarification. But back to the bombs, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, it's impossible to overstate how they just changed everything, right? The dawn of the nuclear age.
Absolutely. Utterly changed the game. And that sheer destructive power, well, it forced the creation of deterrence theory.
Deterrence.
Yeah, the whole strategic focus shifted. It wasn't about how do we win a war anymore. It became how do we prevent one. Nuclear weapons became this sort of ultimate safeguard.
And we saw that play out during the Cold War.
Exactly. It largely prevented direct, big conventional wars between the major powers. And what's also fascinating is extended deterrence, the nuclear umbrella. It even stopped allies from needing their own nukes in many cases.
Right, the umbrella. But here's where it gets tricky, isn't it? This nuclear piece, it had side effects. The stability between the superpowers, it created something else.
It really did. It begs the question, okay, nuclear weapons stopped the huge wars, maybe, but did they stop conflict altogether?
And the answer seems to be no.
Definitely no. If you look at the bigger picture, you see the paradox emerging. Non-nuclear war became, well, the standard, the norm.
So the nukes were a hindrance to total war.
A hindrance to total destruction, yes.
Yeah.
But they sort of channeled that competition, that conflict, into other areas, often less kinetic, less about outright fighting.
So what does that look like today? What are the modern sticks and stones, if we're talking about the 21st century?
Well, your sources point directly towards this strategic shift, towards irregular warfare, the gray zone, as it's often called.
Gray zone.
Yeah, it's about influencing populations, using disinformation, manipulating narratives, fighting through proxies, the thing short of declared full-scale war.
Okay, give us some examples.
Drones are a big one.
Yeah.
Your sources talk about the democratization of aerial power. Think about it. Relatively cheap, off-the-shelf drones.
Like the ones we see in the news from Ukraine.
Exactly like those. Used by non-state actors even for surveillance, for tactical strikes, kamikaze attacks. They're impactful, low-cost, adaptable, very much the new sticks and stones in a way.
And it's not just physical tech, is it?
No, not at all.
Uh-huh.
Then you have cyber warfare, described in the sources as an efficient, non-kinetic battlefield.
Non-kinetic meaning no explosions.
Right. Cyber attacks can cripple critical infrastructure, power grids, finance, communications. They can undermine a nation's credibility, maybe even mess with nuclear command and control systems, theoretically.
Wow.
And crucially, it's often deniable. Hard to prove who did it. So it becomes a really attractive tool for states wanting to push boundaries without triggering a massive military response. An accompanying tool, as one source put it.
Okay, drones, cyber.
Yeah.
Any other surprising examples?
There was actually a fascinating detail, almost strange. The U.S. Air Force apparently researched using peregrine falcons.
Falcons? To do what?
To intercept small rogue drones.
No way! That's incredible. Talk about bringing the sticks and stones idea to life, literally using nature against tech.
It really highlights the hybrid nature of it all, doesn't it? Ancient methods meeting modern threats.
Okay, so let's pull this together. The core paradox seems to be
That the ultimate weapon, the nuclear bomb, designed to prevent the ultimate war.
hasn't actually stopped war.
Precisely. It hasn't eliminated conflict. It's reshaped it. It's made these other forms of engagement, the cyber attacks, the drone strikes, the disinformation, these new sticks and stones. It's made them the go-to option, the first resort for achieving strategic goals below that nuclear threshold.
Which leaves us, and you the listener, with a final, quite unsettling thought to consider. In a world where the ultimate weapon prevents total annihilation but ensures this constant simmering gray zone conflict, what new strategies, what new ways of thinking do we actually need to navigate this reality of non-nuclear war that definitely isn't non-war?